What's up guys, VoiD here, and we're back at it again to talk about everyone's favorite party game and how you are gonna get better at it. This is another VoiD Guides, and if you haven't seen the other ones, this is part of a series, so make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see all of it, and let's get into it. This is going to be a fun one. We're going to be talking about your opponent's habits. Now this is an interesting one too, because this isn't specifically in the game. You kind of have to think a little outside of the game. Think about who you're fighting and what do they like to do in comparison to what does their character like to do. What I mean by this is, yes, you know, Peach and Palutena might be amazing characters, but you have to think about the pilot behind those characters. What does that person like using with those characters, and how can you use that to your advantage? So the greatest way to use this is to pay attention to how your opponent escapes tricky situations. One of the biggest things that people like doing is unnecessary attacks when you're in an advantageous state. And if you haven't seen the VoiD guide about that, you can go check it out. It has a lot of great tips. So when you are controlling the space below your opponent, you hit your opponent and they kind of have to land. How do they like landing? Do they like doing these unnecessary attacks? Are they trying to air dodge down? And what are you going to do about it? These types of interactions happen a lot during even a single match. And all you have to do is pay attention and find out how your opponent likes playing in those situations. Do they use their air drift to land on platforms? Do they double jump to the other side of the stage? Are they going straight to the ledge? And once you figure these things out, you can just start using very hard reads, making those sick options to cover your opponent's option. This step is a big one because when you get put in an advantage state, you want to push it. You want to get all the mileage that you can, all the free damage, and you make your opponent start to think more as well. And when they're thinking more, they might get too into their own heads, and you're coasting. You're fine. It's going to be a great time for you, not so great time for your opponent. Another crucial part of the game where this gets put into play is when your opponent gets put into a knockdown state. When they get sent flying and they still hit the stage, where your opponent can either immediately tech, where they have 3 types of techs, or they miss their tech, where they have 4 options. And instead of covering around 30 to 40 to super big brain options, you really only have to cover a handful, and that's the biggest opportunity for you to punish your opponent. When your opponent hits their tech, the only 3 options they have are tech in place, tech roll away, and tech roll in. If you catch on to what your opponent's doing in these situations, that's when you really start to get the big damage. Do they like mashing get up attack when they miss their tech? Of course they do. Just hard punish it with a jump downer, jump aerial, or even just shield grab it. There's so many options you can do. You have so many options and your opponent only has a handful, and that's the main takeaway from this. This also applies when it comes to the ledge. While the ledge can be a little more difficult, we'll go over it another time, but you can apply the same concept to when you have your opponent on the ledge. Now this is something that a lot of players think about at every stage of their career, so tackling it early will help you get a very good head start against all of those people, Make you get super clear coast on your way to becoming PGR level. You might even beat me one day. Thanks for watching, guys. Those are my tips for today. Remember, this is a part of a series, so you can check out the other videos on the YouTube. There's going to be a bunch of guides, lots of tips and tricks for you to digest. So make sure you watch them all. It'll all be worthwhile. And see you guys in the next VoiD Guides. Peace.